And and welcome back, everybody. Good morning, good evening, guys. Good afternoon. Welcome to DreamHack Masters Valencia 2022 North American Closed Qualifier. I'm of course your host, Light VIP. And I just woke up. Oh my god, it is currently 8 a.m. here in the land of Australia, and it is time for StarCraft. Soon, I'll be joined by the lovely casting Josie herself, Kuro, but at the moment, she is on her way home, so I will be casting the first series or two for the time being on my own. Oh boy. Similar thing happened last year in DreamHack Winter. I did also have to solo cast a little bit of DreamHack North America, but hopefully it is okay. And speaking of, this is now our second closed qualifier that we're going to be casting. If you remember, last night, around 8 hours ago, we were casting the Taiwan-Hong Kong qualifier. And mate, things popped off. It was crazy. It was crazy. Oh my god. It was absolutely insane, and it didn't really disappoint. You know, we were able to watch Nazin and Beastlork and Rex all pop off in their own right, and now we are going to find out who goes to the main event in North America. Oh boy, it's honestly a pretty stacked bracket. It's a pretty large bracket as well. In total, there are going to be 16 players here, and 8 of them will move on to the main event. And yeah, I'm kind of spoiled for choice a little bit. I'm not entirely sure where to go. Originally, I wanted to cast Patty Mac. Patty Mac versus Binsky. Looks amazing. But I did also hear, Patty Mac tweeted this recently as well. He is not using his regular PC. He is going to be casting from his laptop because Patty Mac is going to Italy in a couple of days, and he just doesn't. Yeah, he's moving out essentially. Oh god. So as much as I want to cheer for Patty Mac, and I want Patty Mac to do well, I don't know. I don't know how he's going to do. I mean, he himself, he's like, guys, don't cast me. don't watch, people, don't watch. Which feels a little bit bad. Especially because obviously, like, we're big fans of Patty Mac here. You know, he's an ex-CranKy Duckling. We want Patty Mac to do well. We want him to do well. So yeah, I hope he does. If you want to tune into some Patty Mac action, he's going to be casted by Rotterdam. Today for the NA qualifiers, there are a lot of casters here. There's Rotterdam, there's Zombie Grub, there's Dave Testa, Renegade X, Steadfast, and Biomorph. So there's going to be a lot of streams going on right now. I'm trying my best to, like, we're trying to, like, accommodate each other and, like, go for our own series. So Rotterdam does have Patty Mac. Meanwhile, what else is happening? We are going to try and catch a different series entirely. We are going to try and catch Antis versus Dolan. Oh boy. From my understanding, I believe Dave Testa is going for Pili Pili versus Reaper. And I'm not sure where everyone else is going, but we're trying to fan out. We're trying to fan out and cover as much as possible. Oh boy. So wish us luck. Wish us luck. Meanwhile, as we get into this, I also want to give a massive shout out to Lord Loken in the chat. Thank you so much, Lord Loken. Thank you so much for the support and all the gifted subs. Gracias, papi, gracias. We always do appreciate it. We appreciate it. Always, mate. Always. Ooh. And yeah, I guess we'll try and we'll just chill. Antis is here. Dolan is still missing at the moment, so we're just gonna be waiting for Dolan to show up, and then we can dive into our series. Meanwhile, what else is going on? We got M Canning versus Riser. We got Fuchsia versus Jon Snow. Yo, that's a pretty spicy series as well. Utko versus Epic, Pure Legacy versus BioIce, and Rocker versus Asuna. Oh my god. Oh my god. So the ideal is for everyone to have their own series. Obviously there is going to be some, like, crossover at some point because, you know, games are going to be running out and all that stuff. So we're going to try our best. We're going to try our best to cover as many of these series as possible. Oh, Dolan's here. Beautiful. Beautiful. We are going to have our first series. It is going to be that TvZ, and we were able to follow Dolan's run in both qualifiers, qualifier 1 and qualifier 2. We did see that he barely made it to the didn't make it to the closed qualifier in the first one. He got taken down by Binsky, and in qualifier number 2 he was able to make it all the way. So our VODs are going to be up on YouTube. They're already up on Twitch if you want to see how Dolan got here. Meanwhile, Antis has been waiting. That's how it's set up here. There were some players who got seeded straight into the closed qualifier because of their performance last year. So they've been able to take things a little bit easy, you know, take a step back, relax, rest up, and just kind of observe and watch and prepare themselves mentally and physically for the closed qualifiers. And I wish the best for Antis, because I think I would go as far as to say Antis is the best Zerg player in America right now. When it comes to North America, obviously that's Scarlet overall, right? But when it comes to specifically the United States, that used to be Silky. Silky was the best in the US of A. He was amazing. But then he stepped away, you know, he focused on his studies, he stepped away from pro gaming. And after that, there was like a void that was left for who would step up as the best American Zerg player. Personally, I was rooting for E.T. Pwnhome. I love that guy. But he also stepped away as well. And it was Antis who stepped up. It was Antis who got picked up by Apprentice Esports. And I want to say last year, Antis popped off. You know, he did really well in DreamHack. And again, like, you know, he still has a ways to grow as a player. But like when I think about American StarCraft or Zerg, American Zerg specifically, I look at Antis and I'm like, mate, you know, you're the guy. And he's like, how did I get here? Well, what happened to everyone else? Well, they all left. Oh, good. I mean, to be fair, as I say this, I know a lot of people are gonna give a lot of props to Jon Snow, and that's fair. That's fair. Jon Snow is another great Zerg player. I would say that he's been pretty inactive, especially last year. And the year before, he hasn't been as active as he used to be, but I have to admit that he has recently come back to the game, and he has been practicing, he has been playing. So because of that, you know, there are arguments to be made for Jon Snow as well, because he has come back to the game. So yeah, we'll see. There's like a similar story with the Terrans as well, where I would say that Vindicta is like the best Terran in America, but well, what, 6 or so months ago, Future came back and started playing again. So it's like, well, now it's a little bit closer, you know? So yeah, it do be like that sometimes. I hope not all streamers are going to stream the same match. We're going to do our best. We're going to do our best to split up heads. Oh! Fala galera, Ice Scar. Welcome everyone. To the stream. Yes, we are going to be diving into this. It looks like we are going to be doubling up a little bit for this series. Myself and the CranKy Ducklings and Steadfast are going to be covering Antis versus Dolan. It is a bit of a shame, but we have a lot of casters. It's hard. It's hard to split up, mate. It's hard to split up. Oh boy, here we go. We are diving into our first series. As a reminder, this is a best of 3, and the qualifying matches are best of 5s. Oh boy, so this goes straight into the winner of PattyMac and Binsky. Let's go. Again, I was very tempted to go for PattyMac versus Binsky. You know, PattyMac, I'll always have a lot of love for him. You know, he may have gone over to greater pastures with another team, but he will always be a CranKy Duckling at heart, and I wish him the best. I wish him the best. Oh. And speaking of the best, spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Curious Minds LE, we have the American Zerg player himself, representing Apprentice Esports. It is Antis. And spawning in the top left hand corner of Curious Minds LE, we have the American Terran player. He's a duck, not a CranKy Duckling, but a duck nonetheless, representing Team Super. It is Dolan. Let's go. And oh god, I came into this. Oh mate, they are both memeing on us. I came into this wanting a nice, beautiful, long standard game. You know, it would give Kuro enough time to actually get home. But nah, mate. Antis goes for a pull first, and Dolan is going for proxy Raxes. Not just 2, he's going for 4. I imagine 4. He's making 3 right now. He only has 3 SCVs, but he may make a 4th from here. He did not take any gases whatsoever. He's making nothing but mass marine right now. He's going to be going over to throw down some bunkers as well. And it's all about this Overlord to scout. And look, the Overlord is chilling outside the main base. It is ready and waiting for any kind of cheese. And things are already coming because it was a pull first. This is a hard counter by Antis. Oh my god. In the end, it is going to be 3 Raxes. The first SCVs coming up here, up into the high ground. This does get spotted by the Overlord. Lings are already on the way. And before it began, this should be over. The Lings are here. We're going to need to see some cancels. Bunker gets cancelled. SCVs get pulled away. Marines have to be stocked up here on the high ground as best they can. And immediately the Lings are going across the map. The wall currently is not a wall. Up. But the depot is being thrown down. Queens are coming out. We may see a spine as well. Dolan is still going to try and force his way up this ramp. The Lings aren't going to do much across the map. Not yet, anyway. It's going to take a while to chip away at this wall. Meanwhile, the Queen is here. The Lings are here as well. Depending on the focus fire, he just goes straight for the Marines. Oh my god. He has to be a little bit careful there. Does end up getting one. No, not even an SCV. He's going to lose the Queen. Antis with a little bit of overconfidence there. The bunker is still going to finish, by the way. Lings are across the map, and they're trying to break their way through, but the boys are pulled, and there is the repair. Spine is being focused. Spine is not going to finish. Oh my god, mate. Antis, you had this, Antis. You had this. You just had to stay at home. He's pulling the boys. It looks like he will be able to force away all these Marines, but the bunker is done, and there is no spine. Thankfully for Antis, he is forcing a lot of spine time. He's forcing a lot of repairs as well across the map, but this is getting a lot closer than it should have been. Oh god. We have 2 Queens. How many units do we have? We have 22 Lings, but 6 of them are across the map. Oh god, he's going for the full surround. Thankfully, all the SCVs have been dealt with. There is no repair. The bunker will eventually go down, and Antis will still defend, but he still lost a couple of workers. Because of that, it's not as clear-cut. I do want to say, though, that, okay, he is still ahead. He's still looking good. He has his gases. He is alive, and that is all that matters. Oh, boy. I was real concerned. Things escalated real quick there, and again, Antis, he didn't really anticipate things to go the way they did. Losing additional Queen, losing the spine, losing more drones. At least he's able to hold on to his natural. He's stabilizing, droning up, getting link speed, and we will go into a longer game. We will transition. Eventually, all these Raxes will lift up and leave. And we'll see where Dolan... Oh! He doesn't want a longer game. He doesn't want to transition. He is doubling down right now. And I'm really concerned for Antis. Why? The Lings, sure, they force all these buildings to lift up, but they're gonna land over on the other side. He wants to keep producing those Marines. What I was gonna say is that we only have 1 spine. Antis was droning up, but okay, now he's making a massive wave of Lings. Now he's aware. He's aware what's happening. Oh god. Dolan, he's gonna push himself up the ramp. There's a second spine all the way. We're taking more gases? Okay. He's going for the extractor trick. Oh god. SCV's doing a great job to buffer for the Marines for now, but the SCVs are falling. Did have a clutch transfuse there on the spine. Is it gonna be enough? The Marines all go down. I'm sorry, the Lings all go down. The Marines, they push forward. The boys. Mate, is Dolan gonna do it? He takes down the spine crawler. He's doing it! Lings are trickling in. It looks like maybe it's gonna be enough, but there are barely any any drones here. Queens are falling and Dolan's done it. He's crazy. GG! Dolan, despite the Zerg player, despite Antis going for the pull first, Despite him knowing what was happening, Dolan does it anyway. A man with gun. Oh my god. GG. Ay. In honor of Kuro. GG, well played. Dolan takes game number 1. Oh god, feels bad, man, for Antis. Like, I could see like the overconfidence in him. He's like, oh, I'm fine. I went for a pull first. You know what? Nothing's gonna happen. And he was even droning as well after the initial hold. Like, that was so unfortunate. Dolan, how could you do him dirty like that? And I'm worried the series mate, this may be a quick series. Game 2 is Berlingrad. Oh god. That feeling when all you want is like a macro ZVT, you know? But you're in NA. Wow. Well, yeah, with that again, GG, well played. Dolan takes a lead in this series with a cheeky cheese. And hopefully it doesn't end again just like that. I just want a longer game. Even if Dolan 2-0s, I want to see a more back and forth. Maybe I'm asking for too much. Maybe. Ay. I just can't believe what I just bore witness to. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Berlingrad ALE, we have the American Zerg player himself representing Apprentice Esports. Currently down in this series, but not out. It is Antis. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Berlingrad ALE, we have the American Terran player. This time not going for a proxy Rax, representing Team Super. It is Dolan. Oh boy. Antis once again going for a pool first opener. What does this mean? This is a safety pool first. I say safety, designed to defend against proxies, but the proxy killed him anyway, so I don't know anymore. You know what? I don't know what it does anymore. It's crazy. With these early lings, he can sneak out across the map. He can force a delay and maybe even a denial of the CC on the low ground. So that's going to be the goal here, to try and avoid the initial Reaper of Dolan. And be safe, I see Yoda in the chat, rip. Oh, yo, we've all been there. Where we go pool first and we get proxied and we die anyway. Oh god. Hashtag relatable, man. But yeah, I hope Antis is able to shake that off and as we get into this series. Oh. And here we go. Our lings are coming out across the map. 6 lings in total. And they will get spotted by this SCV. Ay. So Dolan, he's fully aware that he needs to keep his Reaper at home. So Dolan playing this out beautifully. He's actually he actually wants to intercept the lings. Bold move, Dolan. Bold move. Here we go. He will meet up with the SCV. Will encounter said lings. He's going to be able to chase him away. And just tries to bait the Reaper a little bit further back as the rest of the lings do head towards the SCV, head towards that building CC. But Dolan is here. Again, these lings shouldn't do too much. He does dive on top of the SCV. Up! And we'll delay it for a couple of seconds. But again, only a couple of seconds. Dolan will defend. And that's the hard thing about Berlingrad specifically. Because it's so small, it doesn't take that long for an SCV scout to get across the map and figure out you're going for a pool first and, you know, give Dolan enough time to respond. So again, I have to give the edge to Dolan here. It is just an edge though. It's not like a massive advantage. Oh boy. Just the Ant is a little bit behind economically as the Reaper goes all the way into the main base, confirming that there was no additional gas income here, or a mass amount of gas. Link speed is on the way. There is no follow-up roach all in, which is the other thing you have to be worried about. Meanwhile, oh, the Reaper's boxed in! Oof. We'll get taken out by the queens. But yeah, usually when you go pull forest, like, it is quite possible to go into a very fast roach warren as well, so you have to be very diligent with your scouting as a Terran player to make sure that it's not happening. Obviously, we can see it's not happening, and so can Dolan with that scout. So now he can feel safe and sound, macroing up and getting into the mid game. He even made a bunker. Oh my god, just in case. They'll salvage it in the end. Well worth it. Bunkers, I mean, you get a lot of resources back for that. And we have a 1-1-1. No fast through TC. It makes sense on Berlingrad again. You know, it's a relatively aggressive map, so why take a risk when you don't need to? And he's going to be going for a bit of a 1-2 punch. He's going to be massing Hellions and also going for a Liberator at the same time. Ideally, Liberator goes into the main, Hellions get ready at the third, and if Antis is not in position correctly in both locations, he will be losing workers. Oh boy, as we already have 4 Hellions, soon to be 6. Liberator is already going across the map as well, and this isn't going to be anyway. I should say this isn't going to be a 2-way saloon or anything like that. Dolan is getting a 3rd CC behind this. Again, it is later than you would like it to be if you went for an economic build, but again, he's thinking ahead nonetheless. Oh, as the Hellions are moving out, they do get spotted by a Ling. So Antis is well aware of the mass amount of Hellions. He's making a decent amount of Lings just to help defend, as that Liberator is sneaking into the main. Spore is in position for the Lib, but it's a little bit too late. So Lib is going to be able to siege up. Won't be able to deal too much damage here. Oh, he does get one. Oh, 2 drones. 3. Uh-oh. 3 drones at the same time. Hellion do dive in, but yo, the Lings are here. The Queens are here. Hellions don't do anything. There was maybe an opportunity if they went for the 3rd base, but he tried to dive into the natural. Really greedy play there by Dolan. Oof. And with that, with all said and done, we have to take a step back, take stock. 3 drone kills for 1 Hellion and a Lib. Not quite worth it, to be honest, not quite worth it. But at least he keeps all these Hellions alive. Because of that, he can do this. He can just bully the creep tumors, bully the queens as well, keep that creep at bay. As Antis is well aware of the location of these Hellions, he goes for his 4th. Feels safe enough to do so, and he's going into Ling Bane. Beautiful. You love to see it. Both Evo chambers are being taken here. I'm sure we're going to be seeing an additional gas geyser as well, and as that is happening, we're also seeing biotank from the Terran. And this is what I wanted out of game 1, mate. This is all I wanted out of game 1, and we were robbed of that. We were robbed. So it's great to see something a little bit more standard here. 2 medevacs are on the way as well. This is lined up with Stim and maybe 1-1. Oh my god, he's even going for an armory. Let's go. As the armory is on the way here. As a part of, I was wondering, it's not a part of the wall, is it? It is. It's just here at the natural. So how many Hellions do we have? So we're going to be hitting with 5 Hellbats in total. This could do well, but thankfully for Antis, he's making a massive wave of safety Lings. 20 Lings on the way. He's already got pre-morphed in Banelings as well. Like, mate, Antis should be fine. Should be fine. It also looks like he wants to go straight into Ultras, as we have an Infestation Pit on the way as well. Not being the most greedy, we do see Bane speed already done. And upon seeing that, yeah, Dolan, we don't want to commit. We're like, ugh. There's a lot of Lings, there's a lot of Banes. Sure, it's great to be here on the edge of creep, but again, oh god, we don't want to push in! Speaking of, the Banelings will crash forward on those Hellbats. Everything gets cleaned up, and Dolan's going to be forced all the way back. Thankfully, he only lost his Hellbats. He was able to keep the majority of his Marines alive. And he does clear up a decent amount of creep, so he will be able to set up for that follow-up push. As 3 tanks move out across the map. Yo, Dolan's so on point with his upgrades. 1-1 finishes up. As soon as that happens, 2-2 is on the way. And now Antis is in a really rough place. Thankfully, he did respread his creep immediately. As I say that, he will lose the creep. Dolan on point with that. And Antis trying his best to buy a little bit more time. 32 Lings on the way. Antis even taking another base behind this. And because of that, honestly, it is possible for him to evacuate this third base if he needs to. Marines are pushing on forward. We do have plenty of Ling Bane, but he doesn't want to fight off creep. Not here, not now. But with the massive amount of links, he's actually going for a counterattack. I was about to say that he should have enough to overwhelm this force, especially with potentially a surround, but instead he just goes across the map. Well, he won't be getting too many SCV kills as the mineral line is evacuated, but the splits! Ooh. Decent splits there. Ling Bane gets cleaned up. Meanwhile, Jesus, look at the amount of Ling Bane that's being banked up here. My god. I mean, Dolan can't really push onto creep. If he does, he will be losing a fight. So he's just slowly sieging forward. Gonna have to leapfrog his tanks as well. Oh, does trigger Antis. Antis is gonna try and break this position, but the sieged up tanks are getting so many shots off. It looks like the Ling Bane may barely be enough though. Barely. Doesn't end up cleaning up all those tanks, but does get the majority of the Marines, so with 38 more Lings, he should be able to clean this up. Dolan is going to try and get here as soon as possible to make sure that doesn't happen. Wants to save his tanks. Oh, and thankfully he will give up this position. We're done here. But like what I want to say about Antis though is that like his expanding has been insane. Like despite Dolan applying all this pressure here, there is nothing going on the right hand side of the map. Dolan, Antis, he's free to take more bases, he's free to expand, he's free to drone up. Meanwhile, going for another run by does intercept a bunch of those reinforcements, even getting almost every single SCV here at the third. Oh my god. And force Dolan back. 15 SCV kills. And Antis hasn't lost a single drone, by the way. That's what's crazy about this. And he's going for another counterattack. Catches the tank reinforcing. Oh god, not like this. Same time, Dolan tries to push onto creep once again. And again, despite there being almost no creep here, as soon as he does step on, like the Ling Bane is terrifying. Here we go. Antis does finally give up his base. He knows that he can't really hold on to it if Dolan commits. But because Antis has been expanding so much, like, he doesn't care about this space. And once again, it looks like he wants to catch these reinforcements. Oh god, no, the tank! The tank goes down, so does the reinforcing line. Dolan pushes forward, and sure, he's going to get a hatchery, but it is only a hatchery. Oh god, and Antis, he wants to fight, he wants to dive on top of the army! And he will be able to close the distance, does get on top of the tanks once again, and will get both of them. Oh my god. Again, because of all these bases, like, Antis has had so much lava to work with. The Ultras are finally here, by the way. It was Ling Bane straight into Ultra. He was able to take up into that hive. And with Ultras, like, Biotank or Marine Tank specifically isn't going to be enough. GG gets called. And Antis, he fights back, tying up the series 1-1. GG. That was a rough start to the series, and I was really worried that it was going to be over before it began. But here on Berlingrad, Antis, he had just honestly really great decision making, really great engagements. I don't think he ever really fought off creep unless he was sure he had an overwhelming amount. And it was just really impressive to see just the constant run bys, not just catching reinforcements, but also harassing the mineral lines, hitting the third base, hitting the natural base as well. It's really difficult to do that while you're also defending. But you could also argue that he felt comfortable because he had so many bases and because Dolan was so adverse to pushing into creep. And with that, we are getting into our ace match. Looks like we're getting some other results coming in from the rest of the brackets. Oh, 2 series already finishing up. Looks like M Canning did just 2-0. M Canning did just 2-0 Riser. Yo, that's actually pretty impressive. Riser has been falling off a little bit recently. I think he has been focusing a little bit more on his studies. But M Canning winning 2-0, that's huge. Like, I'm sure he's streaming his POV. My god. Meanwhile, Jon Snow did not show up. he does give the walkover to Future. Feels Jon Snow, man. Again, I was talking about it at the start about the American Zerg players and how Jon Snow has been a lot more inactive recently. But here, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the player who has been active recently, the best Zerg player in all of America, representing Apprentice Esports. It is Antis. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres ALE, we have the American Terran player representing Team Super. It's the Duck himself. It is Dolan. And he's doing it again! SCVs rushing across the map, 3 in total. No gases have been taken. He is going for Mass Marine. Proxy Marine. Oh boy. Just like game number 1. I feel like Dolan, he doesn't want to play Antis in a long game, in a macro game. I don't blame him. Antis, he's a damn good player. And that is why you want to cheese him out. And just once again though, 3 games in a row, he's opened up with a pool first. So I guess he's fully aware of how Dolan plays this out. He's fully aware of how cheesy Dolan can be. But we still saw Antis lose game 1, despite going pool first, despite scouting the proxy, despite scouting the bunkers and denying them. Like, it was over anyway. So this time, I do hope that Antis doesn't send his lings across the map. I hope he's a little bit safer. I hope he's a little bit more active and just active about throwing down spine crawlers as well. It took him a long time to do that. His defense was very lax in game 1. Hopefully, he takes it more seriously in game 3. As the Marines are on the way, SCV Scout is coming in. Lings for Antis for the time being are going to be chilling here at home. So far, nothing really screams proxy, not yet. The purpose of this SCV is it does look like a regular SCV Scout. Lings are moving out. Dolan is moving in. Let me just set up shop here. Here we go. Bunkers are being thrown down. Antis turns around though. Again, he did open up with a pool first. Lings are already here. He's going to try and zone away these Marines. At the same time, going to try and stop these bunkers from getting up. Oh, and it looks like he will force a cancel. Yo, and he's going straight into roaches. I like this. Not going straight into a spine crawler. I mean, still another great way to help defend. Does focus down the second SCV. There's only 2 left. There's only 1 left. There's only none left. Not a single SCV will survive. Not a single bunker will finish. But we do still have a lot of these Marines. And just has to respect this. And he does. Ooh. As he finishes up his roach warren. And 5 roaches are on the way. My god. With 5 roaches, there's going to be no way to kind of break this position. Dolan is doubling down. He is pulling almost every single one of his SCVs, only leaving the mules to mine. Oh, God. And again, Antis, he's okay with giving up the natural base. Like, he doesn't care, but he's coming in with his roaches. Oh, my God. And Marines are already falling. Dolan, you can't do this. You have to wait for your buffer. You have to wait for the boys. They want in. The boys are finally here, but mate, with only 11 Marines, is this going to be enough? Antis, he gives up the natural. He wants to try and hold on the ramp. The mineral walking is pretty good. If Antis needs to, he can pull the boys. GG gets called! And Antis takes it. 2-1. Ah! GG, well played. Antis reading Dolan so well. Every single game this series he opened up with a pull first because he anticipated the cheese, he anticipated the proxies, and he was able to tighten up his defenses, and in game 3 he just completely shuts it down. Dolan had no chance. He never got a bunker up. His SCV pool was scouted. The roaches were exactly what Antis needed. Again, to be fair, we did see Dolan have a little bit of success in game 1, but at least Antis was able to tighten up and take that proxy a little bit more seriously. Ooh. And Antis will move on to a qualifying match. Meanwhile, if you're a fan of Dolan, and I did see some people cheering for him in the chat, do not worry. This bracket is double elimination, so people in the first round, no one is getting eliminated yet. Dolan gets knocked down to face another player. I'm not entirely sure who. I'll be honest, I don't know who he's going to be playing, but he will have another series ahead of him.